Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and thank you. It's a bit emotional to have Anthony describe the last 3 years of my life in 3 minutes, but equally it's very humbling and also very reassuring to be here with you tonight. Before I tell the story of why I'm here and what I'd like to say to you, I'd like to add to a comment that was made earlier. I'm also glad I'm speaking before Rex Murphy. But equally, Rodney Dangerfield used to joke that you should never follow children or animals when you go on stage. And I would add, or passionate environmentalists. Dr. Moore, I really admire you and your work. Back to Anthony's narrative, I always wondered why this happened to me. I could never really figure it out. And there's lots of theories, and Bev, my wife who's here with me tonight, and I would sit and think, why? And, I think I figured it out. It's part of the climate change agenda. And I can leave Scarborough tomorrow with this great weight off of my shoulders, knowing how this played out. Look, there's lots of speeches, there's lots of things that could be said, there are lots of things that must remain unsaid, but I would just like to leave a few messages with you. First of all, I am very uncomfortable with the word hero, but I understand why people would choose to use that word, and I certainly I'm not upset by it, I just am uncomfortable. But I want to say that when Jocelyn called me and said she was representing, and I have to look, the Coalition of Concerned Manufacturers and Businesses of Canada, I first of all had to look it up while I was on the phone talking to her, and I then mused aloud, well, first of all, I know nothing about manufacturing. I've never run a business. But I do know from my military experience that coalitions can be a good thing, especially if you're part of one and you never want to stand on the other side of one, especially when they're pissed off about something like it appears you are. So in my book, you are all heroes. And I mean that genuinely. Adriano, where are you? Your story from earlier tonight. What a compelling story of bravery and heroism and just dogged determination. And I think that your story represents the very essence of not only what this coalition appears to be about, but what others have said tonight, what this country is all about. And at the end of the day, you have to dig down deep. You have to do what you think is the right thing. You have to fight the forces of evil, and they're everywhere. And many of them live and work in cubicles and offices all across this country. And they are the naysayers, the Knights of No, as I called them, in one of my famous emails that's now been made public. But they aren't bad people. But there are always going to be 100 reasons not to do something. And there will be 1,000 people who will march out the 100 reasons why you shouldn't do something. But all you need is a really good reason why you need to do something, to make a difference, to make a change, to innovate, something that is absolutely essential to the future of this country is our ability to innovate, to think differently, to be imaginative. To paraphrase Einstein in one of his many great quotes, if you're going to approach the solution to the problem with the same thinking that got you into the problem, you're going to get yourself in trouble. And I would like to simply leave with you from my journey the fact that there are things worth standing for, there are things worth fighting for. This country and everything that it represents, what you do, our ability to compete globally, our ability to grow this country and to demonstrate the potential that this country has, that the generations who went before us gave us. They bequested us the most amazing country in the world, and we have an obligation to continue to build that country going forward. And I would simply ask you to go forward, continue to do the great things that you do. Forget the nights and no, ignore them, go around them, stick to your guns, and I wish you the best of luck. Thank you very much.